Let's go. Getting ready, about to go live. You know we always have a good time, so count it down, make some noise. Chat is open. If you're here, let us know. Start the cheering. Let's have fun and start connecting. You worry soon you'll be forgetting. each other. We can do everything all together. Ready or not, here we go. We're all here, so let's start the show. This is the place to be, right here with you and me. Let's meet somebody new. Come and be inspired. The only thing required is to learn and have fun too. Experiment with us, in you we can trust. To live that streaming life, there's no need to be scared as long as you're prepared. Start the stream and feel alive. Your adventure is starting. Nothing compares to streaming. This is the place to be, right here with you and me. Let's meet somebody new. Come and be inspired. The only thing required is to learn and have fun too. Experiment with us, in you we can trust. To live that streaming life, there's no need to be scared as long as you're prepared. Start the stream and feel alive.
Start the stream and feel alive. Hello, 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 everyone. We have here Lala. Hello, Janet. Welcome. Cheryl is here. And Janet, I just said, yeah. Ellie, hello. And yeah, I think I say hi twice, Cheryl. Anna. And Keith is here, and let's scroll. Victor, hello, Victor, and there are so many. Yeah. Oh, where is it going? Diane, welcome. Long time no see. And then maybe I hope I got everyone. And yeah, I'm a bit tired today. I was away for work the last few days, and so I'm very not prepared for today, but I hope my guests will help me there so we can just make it work from nothing. Yeah, so I would say today we're talking about streaming live on YouTube, talking with people. My guest does it, I am doing it, and my guest just did 2 hours of streaming, and now he's here for the third one. Hi, Tim.
Good evening. Thanks, Marcus, for having me.
Oh, I'm
Looking
happy
forward
to
to
have
this.
you here, and let's see where the journey takes us today. So
Absolutely.
how are you after streaming 2 hours and then jumping right
like-
in here? Yeah.
Actually, it was a really, really good stream.
Okay.
I had 4 guests on
Wow.
from Wessex Archaeology, and we were talking archaeology. It was my archaeological special. It was the one that we had to postpone. We were going live on the day that the Queen died, and we pulled it. I mean, we got the news just as we were about to go live, so we pulled it and postponed it. And today was the day. So yeah, 2 hours of chatting away about archaeology and a little bit of mental health in there as well. So it was a really good show. And so I've been massively busy the last few weeks since Leader.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. So
I
you
don't know
have-
whether I'm coming or going at the moment.
So 4 guests. How do you prepare for that?
I don't. Generally, I don't.
Okay.
I see where the flow goes. I mean, I've got a rough idea of how we're going to run the show, obviously, and I'm lucky to have Keith was producing for me today.
Oh,
It
great.
makes it a little bit easier because he brings the guests in and brings in the chat and keeps an eye on what's going on there. So from that point of view, I can concentrate then on the guests and keeping the conversation flowing. And I'm getting fairly good at it, I think.
Okay. But I'm sure you're preparing some questions in advance, or you're just saying let's go and
Generally not.
okay. Wow.
when my podcasts, I record them all at the moment in StreamYard. I'm going to be moving to Ecamm. Top tip. I'll come on to that in a bit, but I have a rough idea of who they are. I get them through an app called or a program called Podmatch. So I find the vast majority of my guests from Podmatch. I've done 135 so far
Wow.
this year.
Okay.
And I like to go in cold. And the reason I like to go in cold, I think it helps the conversation flow because I don't know an awful lot about them. And I start off, I have a basic format to my show where I ask people when and where they were born. I'll ask them to describe what it was like when they grew up, the schools they went to, and the education they had. And then we'll kick that around and we'll drug out little nuggets of information that they'd long forgotten. And we'll get a picture of what it was like where people grew up, which is the fascinating part about it all. And then once we've exhausted that a bit, then we'll look at their work life history, and so we see what they did when they went to work, how they got on, whether they went to university, and what they've done since then. And we sort of bring the conversation around to nowadays and what they're doing nowadays. Lots of people have written books or stuff like that, so they get a bit of a plug for that sort of thing. And yeah, the channel's going pretty well on that side. So yeah, I've got over, I think it's 200 and I don't know, over 200 interviews that I've done on,
Wow.
and they're available on all the Podmatch apps. So if you're driving in the car, you can pop one of those on and have a listen. Or if you've got time to sit down in front of your YouTube, lots of them are on YouTube. And so I'm moving over to Ecamm fairly soon, and I'll be able to put a little bit more jazz and panache into it. So
Okay.
look out for the ones that are coming up. But at the moment, I've got 2 episodes going out a week until
Wow.
the 14th of December. So there you are with
That's
it.
okay. So I see how you achieve to be good with not a lot of preparation. It's just practice. Then
Yeah.
okay.
I think it certainly helps just chatting to people, and I love finding out about people's lives.
Yeah.
So Marcus, if you can tell us where and when you were born, and if you could
Okay.
describe to me what it was like where you grew up.
No, but today we're talking about.
You see what
Yeah.
I did there?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so you just give me the template for me. So when were you born? And tell us about you a bit.
Yeah, I can do that. Do you want to know a bit about me?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I was born on the 5th of April, 1758, in a small hamlet just to the north of London called Hatfield in Hertfordshire. Now, the way I say it, there's no H's in it, so it's Hatfield in Hertfordshire. It's just the way I was dragged up. And people don't believe that I'm 264. I know I look pretty good on it. But yeah, when I joined the army as a young fella, and I was a young corporal under Wellington, and we we went into Portugal and Spain for King George. There's a song about that. 40 shillings on the drum for all that volunteers who come to fight the foe another day over the hills and far away. There you go. Didn't know I could sing, did you?
Yeah, wow. Even sing.
And-
You're doing all
and
the
you
things.
still don't. You still don't.
I see you're doing all the things. So yeah.
So we went through the Peninsular War, and old Sharpie, he done well for himself. The amount of times he got injured and
Okay.
survived.
Yeah. So maybe, but tell us a bit how did you end up doing podcasts and live shows?
Well, let's go back a couple of years.
Okay.
Let's go back
200
quite a few
years.
years.
Or
Well, not quite 100 years. I mean, technology wasn't around back then.
Yeah.
But let's bring it forward a little bit to, let's see, around about 1998. Well, a little bit before that, I did a bit. I was in the army, and I did a little bit of driving. My wife worked for a printer, and occasionally I would go in and help out if they got a big job on. And I used to mind a single colour Heidelberg press, so I got to understand the print processes and stuff like that. Move forward to 1998. There was a new unit forming, and they were looking for people with some experience. The experience I had, I could drive a truck, and I think that's why they wanted me. They wanted people that knew about print, they knew people about radio and television, that sort of thing, and that were soldiers. And I fitted the bill, so I got recruited onto the group called 15 UK Psychological Operations Group, and I spent just over 10 years on the group. A couple of years in, I moved across from the print side of life to the radio side of life, and it was commercial radio that we did. And then I went to Afghanistan, and I did 3 tours of Afghanistan, and I was in charge of the radio section in the headquarters, and my role was to go out and deliver a radio in a box to different patrol bases and forward operation bases to put in this radio network, and it was commercial, so they were broadcasting to the locals in the area, delivering messages and playing some music and stuff like that as the hook. So that's where I got into the audio side of life. So I was doing a lot of work with Adobe Audition, editing radio programs and stuff like that. So I was teaching the interpreters to be presenters. I was teaching the guys that was running the interpreters to be radio producers. So sorting out radio wheels and stuff like that. Then when I left the army in 2018, I got these skill sets that were more or less redundant for a while. And I was working on Ancestry, and Ancestry is great. I mean, you're looking up your family history. I did the DNA, so I'm part Viking, part Scottish, but I don't know where that bit came from. I haven't managed to find that the Scottish
Viking
element.
and Scottish. Okay.
So
Yeah,
but occasionally I do like to wear my skirt.
Okay, but maybe let's stay on the army for a little bit. That sounds like quite a fun thing to do in the army.
Yeah.
Not usually you would think army is not really fun, but that one sounds like fun.
Oh, I had such a great time. I really did. It was funny when I got recruited onto the group. It was a squadron leader that recruited me on, because it was a tri-service unit, and I was Army, he was RAF, and later on we had a naval and Marines officers as well. So he said to me, if the need arises, would you be prepared to deploy? Oh, yeah, of course I would. Not thinking I would. Anyway, I'd only been on the group for about 6 months, and I found myself going to Kosovo, and
Oh,
I spent
okay.
in 1999. So I
Mhm.
spent the best part of a year in Kosovo. So I went there in the November '99, and I came back out in October 2000. The following year, I found myself in Macedonia. During Macedonia, it was a 90-day op. We had some Germans involved. We had lots of different nations involved in that particular operation. It was going down there doing a weapons collection, and again, I was sort of working on the print side of it. I was going out getting imagery, so taking pictures and coming up with designs to put into newspapers and stuff like that. And then 9/11 happened, and 5 months later, I found myself flying into Kabul in 2002, and thinking, "What have I done?"
Yeah, sure.
So, but I was in Kabul from the end of January until June when we came out. 20th of June we came out in 2000. I had a wonderful time. I thoroughly enjoyed Kabul. Kabul at that time, when we first got there, I mean, the place was dead. I mean, you go out and walk around, the place was dead. And when we left, I mean, it was a vibrant city again. There was loads of people tearing around. There was traffic jams everywhere. So it was, women were taking off the burqa, and it was starting to feel like what it used to be back in the sort of late 60s, early 70s, a cosmopolitan city. We handed over to the Turks. I actually worked with Germans there, which was quite funny. The Germans have a slightly different operation, where we work with their PSYOPs teams, or Ops Info Battalion, 950 Ops Info Battalion, that are based in Kassel in Germany. And I'll give you a little story about them later. But they kind of do the sort of the minds awareness type stuff, and they have a radio station, but they generally broadcasting to their own troops.
Okay.
Anyway, so the next place I found myself was in Iraq, and I didn't enjoy Iraq. It was a horrible place. It's one I have no desires to go back to Iraq at all. And then I did another 2 tours of Afghanistan. That's where I got into the radio side of it really heavily. And I had 2 tours in 2005-06 and 2008-09, and I had such a great time. I really did. I mean, I got to go all over Helmand province. I flew everywhere, and I got into a couple of scrapes in 2006. Got brassed up a little bit in a village. I'd been working on a little project we've been working on, and that didn't go particularly well. We didn't lose anybody that day, but it was almost down to a round a man, and we finally managed to get some air support in. Dropped a couple of 500-pounders, and then the helicopter came in and extracted us. But that was a tough old day. Don't want to repeat that one anywhere. But it ruined the relationship that we were building up in that particular village.
Yeah, sure. So there are the two sides. You doing fun things in the army, and you know why you are there, and if you leave Kabul, it looks better than before. But then the other side, it's you're in constant real danger, and
you don't think about that when you're there.
Okay.
You kind of worry about it afterwards and thinking, "Good, did I go through that?"
Okay. So you just try to ignore that side, or?
Yeah, I mean, your training kind of kicks in. I mean, before you deploy out, you have 6 months build up to deploying out, and you start off with low level stuff, and then you build up as you go along, and then you get into the sort of big stuff. I mean, working together with divisional headquarters and stuff like that. So you start off with your low level infantry skills and drills. You're brushing up on all your weapon systems, your patrolling skills. You go and do a couple of weeks on the ranges, getting your weapons sorted out. I mean, we carried 2 weapons, a rifle and a pistol. And just getting all those skills up to date, getting your fitness up to scratch. I mean, you're doing PT every day. You're doing your weapon handling skills in the early days, and then you start doing your trade. So I was working on the radio stuff, and we're linking in with the guys that are actually out on the ground at the time, and so we got an idea of what sort of projects they were working on, and we were developing the radio in a box capability at that time. So when we got out there, I managed to hit the ground running. We took out a dozen of these radio in the boxes, and it's a 50-watt transmitter with a media case and a laptop essentially, and an antenna. So you put the antenna up, and you've got a 50-watt radio transmitter, FM radio transmitter, and we set those up around the bazaars, and guys were able to push out messages to the locals. We had a really big success actually down in a place called Garmacia, which is in the south of our area, just north of the Quetta border. And I've gone down there, I set this radio up. I'd been working with the guys for a few days, teaching a couple of interpreters how to be radio presenters. We got the playlist sorted out, and this afternoon we were due to go properly live the following morning. So I thought we'll have a test this afternoon. So we went live for about half an hour or so, so these guys could just practice going out properly. And a little while later, a couple of guys approached the camp holding up bits of paper, walking towards the bit scary for the guys on the guard, but anyway, they come up, they wanted requests for them and their friends.
Okay, song request.
Yeah. So the following morning, the guys went live for a couple of hours, and they mentioned these guys, and then there was that sort of late morning. There was half a dozen people coming with bits of paper, and then there was a steady stream of guys coming up with bits of paper wanting tunes played for them and their friends, and we were pushing out our messages, obviously. And we'd been going for a couple of days, and we got a fairly big stack of these requests coming in, but none from girls. And I thought, how about we say that give us a couple of girls' names, typical girls' names, and my brother sent this in, can you play a tune for me and my girlfriends? And that afternoon we had about 20 requests in from girls.
Oh, nice.
So that was a real measure of effect. I mean, psychological operations is really difficult to get a measure of effect. I mean, generally it's a long-term weapon system, so PSYOPs takes time to achieve an attitude or a change in behaviour. But that was virtually sort of overnight.
Yeah,
So
it's so
we got people on
fascinating
side.
how you can with broadcasting you can connect with people just
Yeah.
like you do nowadays with the live stream, and you started it there. Absolutely.
So do you want me to come forward to how I actually got into the podcasting and the
Let's.
live streaming
I
malarkey?
got someone with a paper too here. I got Anna who brought her question on the paper about how many uniforms do you have. So we can,
Oh, behind me. I can tell you what they are. Do you want me to see? Do you want to see?
sure.
Let's put another light on.
Let there be light.
Behold, and there was.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! And there you go. Put me berry on as well. So
Perfect.
I'll point these out. This one here is a greatcoat, worn during the winter time. And if you would like, would you like to touch my bearskin?
Wow.
This is a genuine Guards bearskin.
Fascinating. So what I was wondering when I saw them on TV is how you can see something if you wear this one.
How do you mean?
Yeah, the bearskin, and then it's over the eyes.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like that. It's just like having hair in front of your eyes.
Yeah, okay.
But, and the idea is you just keep your head up a little bit,
Okay.
just to keep your neck in the back of your
Yeah,
collar.
and you're warm on the head for sure then.
Yeah, and so this is my berry, and I wear it on special occasions, generally at funerals, and we have a regimental gathering every year. So, yeah, wear the berry occasionally. In fact, I wore it last weekend. We went to the National Memorial Arboretum, which was great. There was me and about 9,000 other motorcycles veterans. So we were all up there on our motorbikes, and it's just to honour our dead, basically. There was a service and all the rest of it. So it was really good day out. So coming back to the uniforms, that's my blues. So it's my number one dress. In the middle is my old drinking suit, my mess dress, and the other one up there, that is my number two dress. So these are old uniforms that I had when I was serving.
Great. And yeah, you have them in the background, and they immediately tell a part of the story of your life. So I got more women with paper here. The ladies coming in. So Lala is asking, that one is for parades.
Yeah, they're all parades apart from the red one. The red one's just for going drinking.
Okay. And Cheryl wants to touch the bearskin.
Oh, Cheryl wants to touch my bearskin, does she?
Yeah. And Anna is asking, is it heavy and is it hot?
Do you want a little demonstration of what it's made up of?
I'll show you.
Okay, right. You think it looks heavy? Well, hang on. Let's bring it in front of the camera. So, bearskin. This is called a curb chain, and that's what they put under their chin. And then if you look up inside it, it's see if I can get closer in there and show you what's in there. Basically, it's just a wicker framework, and then the bearskin, and it's these bears. It's a brown bear that they breed specially.
Okay.
So that's it. All right. If I take my bins off. Yeah. And that's how it's worn. There you go.
Fascinating. And
that's a bearskin.
I love it. And Janet is asking, oh, the red one is to impress the girls.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Very good. Yeah, and you see, this is something when you do live shows and you have people in the chat, you can quickly adapt and see, oh, they are interested in that, and so let's go there. And I think that's part of the magic of doing it live, because if you wouldn't do that, you could as well record it and polish it before. Yeah. Jerry says, fancy Tim. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
Look, I've got messed up hair now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we have to make an audio version, so the hair doesn't matter. No. Okay, but
So
where were we? We were going from broadcasting in the army to where you went after that.
well, then I when I came back from Iraq in no Afghanistan in 2009, I changed jobs. I left psychological operations, and I became a welfare officer for London Central Garrison. So I was looking after the guards. So that's where the bearskin came from. I'm not a guardsman myself. I'm a Royal Anglian, and one of the is the best, the finest regiment in the British Army. And the other uniforms, I wore the greatcoat during the winter when I was helping out on the guards. So I've done senior sergeant. I was a colour sergeant, so I had the job of doing senior sergeant on Buckingham Palace, St James's Palace, the Tower of London, and Windsor Castle. So just helping out. And I used to go around the guard rooms, chatting to the boys, making sure that their welfare was catered for, that the mail was getting through, the boots fitted, and all that sort of thing. And then the blues was on ceremonial occasions during the summer. The Queen's birthday parade. I had a great job on the Queen's birthday parade. I looked after all the minor royals. So I was done up in my blues uniform, which is that one there. So that was the one that the Queen saw me in. I saw the Queen on several occasions, and Prince Philip. And then I generally looked after what we call the minor royals, which was at that time it was Camilla, Kate, Harry, the Wessexes, the Gloucesters, the Kents. So they're all up in the general's office. So and they all look over horse guards. So if you look where the Queen sat on the Troop in the Colour or the Queen's birthday parade, there's an arch, and above the arch you see the windows with all the minor royals looking out. That's the general's office, and that used to be Lord Wellington's office. So and his stuff's still in there. So he's got his death mask in there. He's got his desk in there. He's still got his desk in there. I've sat at his desk. So I've taken a few liberties, mind. And then the one on the right hand side, the number 2 dress. That's what you wear that on different occasions. And then the red one in the middle is normally on mess nights. And yeah, I've not got my medals on there at the moment because I broke them. They're all getting fixed. But I've got
You broke your medals.
Yeah, the miniatures.
Okay.
Somewhere in here. I got my full set. There's my full set of medals, and I've only got 9, a couple of bars.
Wow.
So yeah, I look good on a mess night. That's all I can say. I look good on a mess night.
Yeah, and how did you break your medals?
I'm not quite sure, but I've got a waistcoat that I wear when I go out on my motorbike, and I've got them pinned on there, and it's got different badges on it. And I think I must have clipped it on something, and it's just broken the one medal.
So no wild story there how the medals got broken.
No, I didn't get into a punch up or anything. I think I just caught it on something. So yeah, they're fairly fragile at times.
Sure.
So coming forward, so I spent 8 years as a welfare officer in London District, looking after guards, and then I retired, say 4 years ago, just over 4.5 years ago now, April 18, and I was doing ancestry, and I came across my great grandfather, who lived about 3 miles from where I live, across in Portsmouth. He died in 1930. and I found out his sort of military history. He was a chief stoker in the Royal Navy, and I thought it'd be brilliant to go and have a chat with him about his life and what he did and all sorts. But unfortunately, that history's gone. It's lost. Without a time machine, I can't go back to do it. And then we got into the lockdown, and I was drinking a little bit too much of the old spicy stuff. Still have a little bottle.
Okay.
Just yeah,
just there in reach when you need.
yeah,
something.
just a sort of
Yeah.
little nightcap, you know. But I was doing too much of a little nightcap, and
Okay.
we weren't allowed to go out anywhere, and we were totally locked down. Being pensioners, being retired, I mean, we couldn't go anywhere.
Okay.
So I thought drinking too much isn't going to be healthy for me. So what do? Well, I got back to thinking about my granddad, great granddad, and I thought, well, if I don't tell my story, I'll be lost. So I sat down, I got my iPad out,
So you
and
said,
and I recorded my life story.
okay, so you were thinking, I can't find anything out about my granddad, and so I have to tell my story. Okay.
Yeah. So I did
Wow.
24 half-an-hour episodes of my life. So if there's anybody out there suffering from insomnia, stick one of them on, it'll put you out in minutes.
They are still on your YouTube channel. Or?
Yeah, they're still there.
Okay.
Not on the YouTube channel,
Ah.
but on the podcast apps.
Okay.
So Spotify, Google, Apple, they can find them all on there.
Okay.
And then I did a couple of other episodes in depth of stuff I did. I did 6 trips down to Morocco for a mate. I did a couple of trips across to Colditz Castle with a couple of mates. So I've done that. And then I thought, we're still in lockdown. What do I do now? Why don't I get other people's stories? And that's how my podcast started.
Yeah,
And
so nice.
200 odd people later, here
And
we
you're
are.
still going strong, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, and what is your main motivation? Is it fun or legacy or?
It's basically to leave a legacy for future generations,
Okay.
so they can look back or listen back to these podcasts, and they will see what people were doing in this time in history. Because, I mean, we can't do it for sort of 100 years ago, or for that matter, sort of 20 years ago. Ordinary people that have got extraordinary stories to tell. We can't do that. We can now. So this period in history, in 100 years' time, hopefully people will be interested to know what we did with our lives. So there you go.
Okay, and where do we find your podcast?
If you put a search in on any of the podcast apps for Ordinary People's Extraordinary Stories, you will come up with the podcast.
Okay.
And also on YouTube. You can also put in the Tim Hill podcasts, and that'll also find it. Should do.
Perfect.
And then recently, I started doing a lot of live stuff. Now I got into something called Leader back in August, which is live every day in August, and had a great deal of fun with that. I really did have some fun with that. Learned a lot of stuff, changed my background. I used to have a green screen and one thing and another, and there was always a little bit of sort of stuff, so you could tell it was a green screen. So I've gone to this background we have here, and normally I have the light off, and it's nice, dull and stuff like that, and looks nice. And then following on from that, I jumped on the accelerator program. So I'm in that accelerator program at the moment, and that's given me some challenges. I can tell you that's challenging me at the moment.
Okay.
And then Monday, this Monday just gone, I just started the Ecamm Live Academy with Adrian.
Okay,
Got to
doing
day
all the
4.
things.
So that's why I'm going to be looking at going over to Ecamm in the not too distant future, once I've got a bit more clear inside my head.
Okay, sure.
Because you can do so much with it.
Yep.
And it's a lot more flexible than StreamYard. I mean, don't get me wrong, StreamYard has been awesome for doing what I've been doing. But I think I can jazz it up a little bit if I go into Ecamm.
Yeah.
I have
sure.
tried going from Ecamm streaming into StreamYard and out, because the problem that we had with Ecamm is you can only go out on one platform at a time, whereas
For now,
now in
yeah.
the beta version that when it gets released, you can go out on up to 5 if you've got the bandwidth to do it.
Yeah,
I could
sure.
go out on 3, so I can go out on 3 platforms. So I'm looking at doing that.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. Start with something simple, and then once you figure out all the things to do behind the scenes, then you can
Yeah.
go the next level with tech. But
Yeah, so we've got 2 shows going out a week at the moment on that. So on a Tuesday evening, young Keith and I are doing a quiz, fun facts, and a channel review, and that goes on for an hour from 9 until 10
yeah,
British summertime, which will go to Greenwich Mean Time at the end of October. And then on the we do a taboos on a Thursday live stream, and that's a bit more serious. We've talked about bereavement, we've talked about mental health, we've talked about veteran suicide awareness. So we're challenging taboo topics to normalise it, just to bring it into an everyday conversation that people can have, and to feel comfortable about talking about death and helping people get through mental health issues. I mean, everybody sometime in their life will have some mental health issue, anxiety, a bit of depression, and we're trying to destigmatise it so it can be talked about, so you don't have to feel alone. And you can talk to, and the idea is that we get people to talk about it and open up, and to make it easy to listen to and do that. So that's the taboos on a Thursday.
yeah. There
It was on a Thursday, but the American audience they have a different meaning for Thursday.
Sure.
So we've had to change it slightly.
Okay, but I think with your background and what the life you lived so far, you are well equipped to tackle those issues and those topics, and I think
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
And I've managed to find guests that have come on and that are happy to talk about it. And these are people that I found through Podmatch. Lots of them. I've had a pair of Cheryls on the show. Check me
Wow,
out.
I only had one Cheryl so far, so I need to find the other half. Yeah.
So I had a brace of Cheryls on the show. So yeah.
But I lurked a bit right before this show when you were live, because I can't watch too actively because I have to get in the mindset for this one. But what I was noticing, I mean, now when we talk, you're quite relaxed at talking, and when you do the interviews, you are really listening and waiting till the guest is stopping with talking, and then you go on. So
It's practice. That's all it is. So you got two of these, one of these, and you use them in that proportion when you're interviewing somebody, and you give them 100% concentration, and they not only feel really good about themselves, but they also enjoy the experience. There's nothing worse than somebody sort of doing this while you're talking to them, and then coming back, and so yeah, it's just the way that you treat people. You treat them with respect. You listen to what they've got to say. You ask them searching questions. I mean, that's what I love doing. I love asking people searching questions, particularly when we're looking at their life story. And it's quite funny the amount of people that you start off. They go from kindergarten to leaving university and missing out all the stuff in the middle, all the good stuff, all the juicy stuff. So I have to sort of drag them back and
Okay.
start digging. So it's quite fun.
Yeah, but I just noticed how you are quiet, and that gives the guest the space to talk, and then naturally they are opening up more.
There's a definite knack to it.
Yeah. So I have to go and watch more of your shows to learn from you.
Well,
Yeah,
so if you do, don't forget to click the like button and
sure.
put a comment.
Yeah, the like button. I always forget that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I watch quite a lot of YouTube channels, and it's amazing the amount of subscribers that people have got, the amount of watches that they get, to the amount of people that click the like button or put a comment in. There's no real correlation. I mean, it must be somewhere around about between 1% and 5% actually engage.
Yeah, I mean, especially writing comments is a real commitment, a big effort. The like button is, for me, mostly is, do I remember to hit it or not? But for a comment, the comment, if I write one, I don't want just to write hi or first or something like that, but it has to mean something, and so it's quite...
Cheryl's just put, I've been doing some shorts as well. Yeah. I've been trying to get my head into doing shorts and what shorts are. So, I mean, that's something that's...
So you didn't do shorts until now? Or?
No, I didn't. I didn't know how to do them. But apparently, to do a short, it has to be in portrait, because most everything I do is in landscape.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things that I've picked up on this week, actually. You can do portrait mode in Ecamm.
Yeah.
And you can push that out. So I'm going to be looking at doing some of that. So I generally try and go live every day for a few minutes just to plug the week's show that's coming up. But this week I've just been running around like a headless chicken. So I've only managed to do it a couple of times.
Yeah, I think you also have to do something one after the other. Now you mentioned you were on the Accelerator program. You're doing the Ecamm Life Academy, and maybe you can finish one of them and then then go into something else.
Doesn't quite work like that, does it?
Yeah, it's okay to do more than one thing, but if you do too many at once, you could end up doing none of them really.
Yeah, I think it's just having the little bit of dedication to get into it. So tomorrow's the last learning day as such.
Okay.
Going through all the videos, because it's only a 5-day watch day. And there's a bonus on Saturday, and then next week it's about practicing stuff. So, and it's not quite like Leader. You can plug what you're doing and stuff like that. I did a great little a little interview with somebody the other day. We had a bit of fun.
Oh,
and it was just talking about it was somebody else in the accelerator program, not the accelerator, into the academy,
yeah.
and we had some fun and making things pop and putting some
I only
different
can
things on.
imagine. Yeah, absolutely. So Keith is saying Tim always forgets the call to action at the end. Yeah, it's sometimes hard to remember, and it's especially it can be hard to ask for things.
Yeah, I'm not like I don't like to ask people too much.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like that monetizing thing, and I mean, I got to buy me a coffee, and thank you very much, by the way.
yeah,
I do drink a lot of coffee.
very good. Yeah, yeah. I got one too, and I always forget to. Where is it? Yeah, I have one, but I only showed it once in the lifetime of the channel. So
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of it maybe,
yeah,
but I find it difficult to ask money. I don't really do it for money. What I do
Sure, yeah.
is, I mean, for the podcast, it's really that it is leaving a legacy for future generations. I mean, I've been asked several times about who's my target audience.
Yeah.
The honest answer is my target audience hasn't been born yet.
Oh, okay, because it's for the legacy. But
It's
but
for
in
a
the
legacy.
meantime, it is probably good to find an audience that is already here as well, because it would
Yeah.
maybe not be so motivating to have no one
Well,
watch it or listen to
I've
it.
recently found TubeBuddy, and I've gone onto TubeBuddy, and it appears, according to their stats and stuff, my audience is from 18 to 44. I think it's 70, nearly 80% males, and 20% females. I thought I had an older target audience than that. So,
Yeah.
but I still don't know how to target that audience. I concentrate on putting quality of content out,
Sure, yeah.
and that's what I try and do. Is it's like that Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
If I build a solid content, quality of content, then people will find it eventually. Sure they will.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it helps if there is some common theme throughout the content, so people can find it and come back to it. I mean, with each of your if you're doing podcasts with different guests, there is a natural target audience for each of those. But the really sustainable thing is then if you find some that want to listen to more than one, but we'll have to find it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've spoken to some fascinating people who really have, and every single one of them has had an amazing story to tell,
Yeah.
and it's really difficult because the stories that they tell are so vastly different.
Yeah, but maybe the common denominator is it's a
It's this
fascinating
gorgeous
story
character
about
here.
their lives. Yeah, or you, of course. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was forgetting about that. Yeah, of course, you hold it all together. But then, on the other hand, it's you bring out those interesting stories, and that can be the constant in there. We have to see. Yeah. Yeah.
We just keep plugging away. I mean, I do it because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the day I stop enjoying it, I'll stop doing it.
Yeah, sure.
But I haven't. I mean, on the Podmatch side, I've had to take my foot off the gas. I was the number one host for 4 months straight on Podmatch, and I've had to back off because I've got 2 podcasts a week going out until the 14th of December. So I've had to ease off. Also, I'm going to, it's because you're recording something today. Or in fact, I've done 2 this week. One on Monday, one on Tuesday. One's going out on the 11th of December. The other one's going out on the 14th of December.
Okay.
So you record it today. It's months down the line, but it releases. So I've just eased off the gas. I'll pick up again sort of during November. I'll start doing a few more.
Okay.
But I get lots and lots of people asking to come on my show.
Because they see you are the top
They're
host, yeah.
asking to come on my show. So
Okay. Yeah.
and I've got a book coming out,
Okay.
sort of. Well, I've got
Sort of.
I've got a piece in the book. I've got a piece in the book.
Okay. What is it about?
It's about Podmatch. It's about my experience of Podmatch. And
Okay.
I think I'm just waiting for the actual physical book to come. But it's I forget what I call it. It's one of these short books that gives people bare facts. So I was asked to contribute to that, and that'll be coming out, I think, in about a month's time or so. And they're hoping it'll end up as an Amazon bestseller.
Oh, yeah, that. Go for it, yeah.
So I shall have that in my hands in the next week or 2.
Wow,
It's
yeah, we
coming
have
from
to look
America.
out for that. Absolutely.
And so I'm hoping the guys from Podmatch are going to be at the London Podcast Show in May.
Okay.
They're certainly making some very good noises about coming over. I should be there both days. I'm planning on stopping up in London for the night and taking part fully in it. I did it one day this year. I couldn't do it both days because I had something on one of the days. But it's a brilliant, brilliant show. If you're into podcasting, if you're into live stuff, it's a brilliant show.
Okay, that will be in
If there's
London.
anybody,
When
that's in London.
When will
That's
that
the
be?
24th and 25th of May
Oh, okay, next year. Yeah.
next year.
Maybe we can all meet up there. So all our friends here from overseas. I have to just fly for an hour and you a little bit more. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, it takes me longer to get up there than it does you.
Yeah, okay. I would still have to get from the airport to the actual
Yeah.
location. Yeah. Yeah, but that sounds very interesting. So, yeah, but now we made you sit for 3 hours on that chair, 2 on your own channel and 1 on this one.
That's a short day. I mean,
Okay.
I normally spend about, I don't know, 12 hours, 12, 15 hours a day here.
Okay.
So I'm still doing some editing from bits and pieces. So,
Okay.
but it's
Yeah. But,
it's all worth it. So I've
yeah,
got a lot of work to do tonight.
It's
Actually,
fun, no?
what I do with my live stream is because I now constantly put a break in every sort of 20, 25, 30 minutes. Then I'll break it down into shorter segments
Okay.
and then re-upload it so people don't have to sit for 2 hours to watch it. They can look at the edited highlights. Sort
Okay.
of. I don't edit it as such. I just cut it down into different shorter segments, so people get a better chance of sitting down watching 30 minutes or 25 minutes of a show, and then they can pick up the next show a bit later, or the next
Great.
part of it. So
Yeah, and I have to go look for your podcast because, yeah, I think audio is so much easier to integrate into every day. So if I'm on the bus or doing dishes or something, and then I can listen to that.
I mean, I used to do it the hard way. I used to edit the audio and the video separately. I used to do the audio in Adobe Audition,
okay.
and then I used to do the video editing as well.
No, make
Now
it
what I
easier
do is
for yourself,
I just do the edit on the video, and I can upload the video onto Buzzsprout, and they just strip out the audio for me,
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah,
making life a little bit easier.
yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, your show is 2 hours, mine is only 1, so we already are there, but it
We're there.
was yeah,
Crikey, how did we get there?
like this.
I mean, you've been a terrible host. I mean, you've hardly got a word out of me.
Okay, I have to learn from the best. Yeah, I have to watch yours. Yeah, so once
it's also-
I learned how to do that properly, then we'll invite you back and learn more from you.
Yeah, I mean, it's official. I am funny.
Yeah, no, but it was very, very interesting, and yeah, you're right. If we don't prepare too much, it's can lead us to surprising things like watching the different uniforms and
Yeah, I
just be
didn't expect
surprised
that
and
coming.
learn about people. And thank you so very much for being here, and everyone watching now live or in the replay. Thank you, and
Yeah.
we'll be back next
see.
week.
Just having a look at some of the comments. I see Victor's in the house.
Yeah,
Cheryl's in the house, obviously. Keith's in the house. Mummy Guiding.
yeah, Lala
Lala.
is
Yes.
always here.
Animal Paradise.
That's Janet. Yeah, with all these channel names, you have to be ready
On
to
top of it.
translate it. Yeah, on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's all for this week. Thank you so very much, Tim. It was great talking with you.
Been an absolute pleasure.
And yeah, now I have to find the buttons, and we say goodbye, everyone.